I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's been a lot of drama going on in China with Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. And the thing that I found very interesting is that now a lot of these people who are getting banned, getting kicked out of China are looking towards Texas. It feels like everyone is going to Texas recently. Texas, Arizona. It feels like people are just leaving California to go to Texas. People are leaving New York to go to Texas. Texas, has a lot of great opportunities there in terms of tax benefits, in terms of a couple of things with sustainable energy, sustainable resources. And it seems like this is becoming the hub of not just the crypto world, not just the tech world, but just everything. People are going to Texas. So essentially what's been going on with Bitcoin is in China right now, Bitcoin has been experiencing a lot of issues with regulations on Bitcoin miners, crypto miners in general. A couple months back, we did a video talking about Bitcoin in Inner Mongolia. The Chinese government, they outright banned Bitcoin mining in Inner Mongolia because what happened is in Inner Mongolia, they didn't meet a certain number of regulatory requirements and guidelines that were set earlier in the year. You can see right here. It says, after failing to meet Beijing's climate targets, province leaders decide to give Bitcoin miners 2 months to clear out, banning crypto mining in general from that entire region. And that was a big deal because Inner Mongolia made up a significant portion of Bitcoin mining and crypto mining in the entire world. It made up a really large portion of it. So now with that being canceled, not canceled, but now with it being banned there, people have to look elsewhere. These companies that mine Bitcoin, people who mine Bitcoin, they're not just going to stop. They're going to look to say, where's the next place where we can go? Where is it cheaper to mine? Where is it legal to mine Bitcoin? Where can we go to do it? So now a lot of people are looking towards Texas because what's going on in Texas is that even though we had some of the blackouts in winter of 2020 and in January of 2021, we had a lot of blackouts in Texas. The thing to keep in mind is that Texas is a place where we see some of the world's lowest energy prices, and its share of renewable energy sources has grown dramatically over the last 2 years. We saw over 20% of its power come from wind back in 2019. We're seeing Tesla make some major moves in Texas as well in terms of energy storage, solar power, and a lot of that. So that is something that people are really looking at. And the thing to keep in mind is Bitcoin mining, the main thing that separates you from someone else in Bitcoin mining is going to be how much you pay in terms of energy consumption. Can you spend less money on energy? And if you can, well, then you could make a little more money than your competitors because Bitcoin mining is such a low margin industry. Really, the only variable cost, the only way to make more of a profit is to pay less and find a cheaper energy source. So that's what people are doing. They're realizing Texas is a great place to do it. In addition to this, a lot of regulators have been concerned about Bitcoin. Even Elon Musk has been concerned about Bitcoin and the energy consumption. So what we're seeing now is that by people moving to Texas, it's going to solve two of these issues. It's going to solve the issue that people have right now with Bitcoin consuming a lot of energy, and it's also going to solve the issue of Bitcoin being outlawed in some place, like Bitcoin mining being outlawed and banned in some countries, some areas, some regions around the world. Because when people start moving to Texas, if they use more renewable energy sources like wind energy, well, it's going to make Bitcoin have a much higher ratio of renewable resources being used to actually mine it. And for example, Elon Musk had come out and said previously that Tesla would go back to using Bitcoin as soon as Bitcoin saw about a 50% of its energy consumption coming from renewable energy resources. So that could be wind, that could be solar, that could be battery. Any of those would be viable, acceptable options. I'm actually moving to Texas as well. I'm actually going to be moving to Texas as well. So not for Bitcoin mining, but some for tax reasons, some for personal reasons. So we'll see what happens, but I'm moving to Texas. Bitcoin miners are moving to Texas. We're just seeing a whole inflow of people go into Texas because there's a lot of benefits in terms of cost of living, in terms of taxes, obviously, which I didn't even know was with energy consumption and energy resources being more renewable in Texas. So a lot of things to like. Even one of the security engineers at Gemini, which is a crypto exchange. He said you are going to see this happen. You're going to see a dramatic shift happen over the next couple months. It's going to be significant. And because Bitcoin mining is being outlawed elsewhere, we're going to see them start popping up and more Bitcoin mined in cheaper areas around the world. Because you don't have to be in one location. If you have the computers, you have the equipment, you can go anywhere. So interesting to see what happens there.